Okay, in this video we're going to get down to it. This is where we're going to go and we're going to create a campaign and walk through all the steps. So we start off and we click this button, Create, and it asks us to enter the name of a campaign, and I'm going to say Auto Glass G. And we click OK. Now what happens is this box pops up and we get to select a diagram. What diagram do we want to build to? So we have this very simple diagram. Here's a much more complex diagram. Here's an extensive diagram. And here's a fairly basic diagram. Okay. Now, depending on which diagram you choose will determine how much more work you need to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this last diagram because this is going to cause me the least amount of work, but I'll explain the differences to you. There's also a diagram editor. In another video, we will cover creating your own diagram. So now that you've chosen the diagram you're going to use, we click Next. This is going to be like a wizard that walks us all the way through. So it wants to know our money site URL. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Okay. Now, for our T1 and our T2, we have to have our keywords here. So primary keywords, I'm going to go back to my list here. And I made a shortened list of my keywords. I actually have a whole lot more than this. And I'm going to put my primary keywords in. There they are. And my partial match keywords, if I'm going to use those are a derivative of these keywords. So if I click Generate Partial Match Keywords, give it the language, English US, it's going to take those as partial matches of these. Okay? Here's my generic keywords. And I'm not going to do any branded keywords. Not for this run. Alright, so what I have here, primary keywords, what percentage do I want my links to be for my primary keywords? And let's say for sake of discussion, I wanted this to be 50%. We have other training that tells you recommended percentages for a new website. Alright, for my generic keywords, I'm going to tell it I want to use these, let's say 20% of the time, or let's go with 10 to begin with. My partial match keywords, let's say 10%. Plain URL, I'll go with 10%. Domain as anchor, I'll go with 10%. Text URL, I'll go with 10%. Now let's see what I got. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus 50 is 100. Right? All of these together need to equal 100. Bold keywords, by default, this is set to 45%. Italicized keywords is set to 35%. I leave that as such, right? Now, let's go to strategy of Tier 2 plus. This means Tier 2 and beyond. Right? So for my primary keywords, I'm going to come back and I'll go to a secondary list of keywords I have, and this list has 751 in it, to show you we're not limited on the number of keywords that we can use. I'm going to put these here, and I'm going to leave these primary keywords for my Tier 2 and beyond at 100%. Okay? I could break these up like I did the others. I'll leave this here the same. Excuse me. Now, going back to my Tier 1 strategy, let's go to my Web 2.0 blogs. And I have to choose an account preset. So for this preset, I'm going to go ahead and choose the last one I created, the Autoglass 5. Links per article, I could have 1 to 5, but I'm going to set it at random. I'm not using an indexer because I didn't put one in my settings. The blog name is already there. Blog subdomain is there. Post title. I click this. Now for the article, I have a number of choices, right? I can choose to get an article from Buzzle, eZine, or Article Forge. And I do have an account set up with Article Forge, so this time I'm going to go ahead and tell it to do it. And I have to give it a keyword, so let me give it Autoglass Repair. And normally I use the article directories because I'm told this could take a while. I have the option of putting my keyword variations in here, sentence variation, paragraph variation. Let's see. Shuffle paragraphs, yeah, I'll let them do that. And I'm going to take it as, in this case, I'll go ahead and accept the 200-word articles, and I'm going to say get article. And while we're waiting on that, I'll talk about some of these other settings. Don't know why this decided to pop up now. All right. We're going to have a choice as to how we want this to run in a few things. Number one, CAPTCHA service. We only support 2 CAPTCHA, right? Browser threads, depending on the strength of your machine. If you've got a standard 4-core machine, then I would put this at 3 browser threads. It's not going to move while this is running. All right. HTTP threads you can leave at 10. If you have a more powerful machine, like this machine happens to be 10 cores, I could probably move this up to the maximum number of threads. All right. Schedule post. Do I want it to post instantly, or do I want it to go by the number of posts per day? So let me explain. If you check this box and you say 10 posts, it's going to do 10 posts and stop. All right. So if you say, well, golly gee whiz, it seems to be hung up. No, it's going to stop for 24 hours and then come back and start again. Another way you can specify it is days to run. So you could say complete this diagram over a period of 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, whatever you want. And you can schedule it. But I'm going to operate on instant post. Now, while we're still waiting, let me cover a couple of these other things. In here, I can put a stack of image URLs, and in here I can put a stack of YouTube video URLs, and it will turn around and it will add those to the articles that are being created. So I can specify the number of images, I believe it's 1, 2, or 3, positioning top, bottom, or random. A number of videos would be 1, 2, or 3, top, bottom, or random. And let's see if there's anything else I can go over on this page that could be of use to you. Okay. Here we have, it says use spinner, and you get to pick which spinner you're going to use. Now, I prefer the best spinner. It's I have a lifetime for it, so I don't have to spend any additional money. After I choose it, I'm going to have to click spin article. But here we are still waiting on Article Forge. I'm going to pause the video and come back to this as soon as Article Forge is done. Okay, so here we got our 200-word article, and I probably should have gone for more than that, but now what we want to do is we choose our spinner, and we click Spin Article. And this goes out to Spin Rewriter via API, spins the article, and comes back. That was quick, right? Now we can preview the article. And we could check different spins of it. I'm going to go ahead and grab this first paragraph, because I may want to use this for something else in just a moment. Okay. So now that I have my article here, now what I need to do is I need to go over and I need to look at my social bookmarking. And I'm going to choose another preset to use, and this time I'll use Auto Glass Repair 2. Once again, no indexer. If I click this button over here, it'll give me my bookmarking titles. I have to choose, do I want them from the primary keywords or from a template? I'll say the primary keywords. Oh, this is bookmarking for Tier 2. I can't do that until I've handled the Tier 2 here. All right. Okay. Just so you're aware, this is still Tier 2. All right. We'll go ahead and we'll set up a strategy for Tier 2, and then it'll become more obvious. All right, so for Tier 2, we have this stuff set up, and now we're going to go to the Web 2.0 blogs for Tier 2. This is Tier 1. Alrighty. We're using the default profile. For the description, I'm going to put that piece of code, that piece of article that I just grabbed, and I'm going to tell it to spin this. I could have taken it in spinner context, but this is just easier for me. Okay. There we go. So there's the bookmarking, there's Web 2.0 blogs. Come back to common. Let's go to my Tier 2 strategy. Tier 1 strategy. Let's look at my Web 2.0 blogs. We're looking good there. Look at my social bookmarking. We're looking good there. Okay. Now, if you have everything right, you can simply click Save. And if you have anything wrong, it'll tell you. All right, so it is ready to go. This campaign has been saved, but I have not started it yet. Let's take a look at this screen right here. You see where this says Groups? This will tell you what the status is of each of the the blog groups in your campaign is, and the task details will tell you exactly what's going on in terms of the creation. As I said, as you see here, nothing's been started. We can take a look at another campaign and see what these would look like there. So under task details, if I were to go take a look at this Tumblr, right? Tumblr is already cleared. Let's look at LiveJournal where we had a failure. And it tells me that the CAPTCHA failed, so the account creation failed. Okay? All right. And that is basically the create the accounts, and then all we have to do to actually build our links, here we go. This little box here is going out and calculating out how many accounts it needs to create for this diagram. And when it's done, you'll see these just start up. If for some reason you have to stop the campaign creation, you click this stop button, you'll get that same thing. Wait for those circling dots to stop. So already it's out there and it's creating the tumblr.com. That's it for the create campaign video. See you in the next video.